Thank you everyone for joining us today, and thank you for being a part of the conference. It's really fun for us at Cisco to see our technology get used in kind of a fun and innovative way outside of the regular meetings and, tech reviews that we're normally doing. So hope that you guys have found this to be a fun experience, because we certainly have. So today I wanted to take a moment to talk about Cisco Programmability. I thought this might be something that's a little top of mind for people, as we've seen how the bot has been working through this conference, and give you some different ways that you can learn to interact and also grow your skills. So I'm going to go over the why, and the how. So why programmability, why, how, and what. Why programmability, what we can do with it, and how you can go ahead and get started and continue your learning. So I am a data center programmability specialist within Cisco, but I've been working in Cisco programmability for probably about 6 or 7 years now. So I have a good idea about how this works across all the architectures. But today, before we really get into the technical, I'm going to talk about cheeseburgers. And we're going to talk about why cheeseburgers are very similar to what we're doing with programmability at Cisco. So everyone knows a cheeseburger. It's the same thing wherever you go in the world, whether you're in China or the United States. It's a meat, bun, and cheese. Very simple. But hey, sometimes people like to customize a little bit. Maybe you like, onion strings on your burger. Maybe you like barbecue sauce instead of ketchup, or you want bacon. So maybe instead of your usual burger spot, you go to a pub or a bar where you can customize your burger a bit. Well, then there's this burger. Everyone recognizes this burger, McDonald's hamburger. Millions of these are devoured every day around the world, and each one has that same experience and the same look, taste, and feel. And then last, we have the Impossible Burger. It looks like a burger, it tastes like a burger, but at its core, instead of being made of meat, it's actually plant-based. So we're really transforming how you would understand and, see a burger normally. Well, let's flip this and kind of talk about collaboration. So everyone probably recognizes this right here, Cisco IP phone. You can pick these up in pretty much any classroom, office building, whatever around the world, and know pretty easily how to interact with it. Well, we also have call centers. Call centers have hundreds or thousands of people that are using these IP phones, and we need to be able to automate the deployment of these so that everyone is able to use their phone immediately and have the same experience with this. Now, customizable, hey, we don't want to talk with everything, we just want to talk with something that's relevant to us. So this is actually a technology that we use at our Cisco conferences, where we're having a chat with an access point, and that access point is giving us all this pertinent information so that we know, it's getting oversubscribed, we need to, fix this before it becomes an issue. So we're customizing that interaction with a piece of equipment to get the information that's critical to us. And then, of course, we have transformational, which is what we've seen in the bot today. 90% of the functions of a call center can actually be automated through the use of a bot. And we can go in and talk with this bot and have this human-like experience, but at its core, it's just code. So, different ways to look at this. And then within Cisco, our main way that we've approached this is to say, hey, we don't want to rewrite the book for how this stuff is done. There's a lot of programs out there that people have gotten used to. We don't want to change that. Instead, we're going to make it so that we open up all of our equipment through the use of APIs so that you can program your own interfaces on top of them and leverage the information that you can get from Cisco products into your code. So that's really where we're opening up within Cisco, and that's where we've made our position. So therefore, it becomes less about, hey, what is the product that you're using, and more, hey, what's the secret sauce that you're building on top of this that's setting you apart from something else that you may have seen. So here's a few of the pain points that we see when we talk with our customers. You know, every time we implement a network change, something goes wrong. Well, 74% of operators report that network changes have impacted their business, and 97% of operators admit human factors cause network outages. So we know that the biggest hiccup in our systems tend to be ourselves. So how can we find ways to not just be able to make changes on our network more frequently, but be able to do it frequently without any adverse impacts? So I'm just gonna quickly, go through these. I think based on our audience, everyone has a pretty good idea of what APIs are and what are some reasons to use them, but simplifying how you interact with your technologies, creating new innovative ways to problem solve and create solutions, integrating across the stack with other tools and technologies, transforming your business needs, and automating a lot of those things that might take us a little bit of extra time throughout our jobs. And then, of course, the benefits. We're seeing new innovative solutions, faster time to market, cost reduction, new skills, improved availability. So a lot of things that would be expected. And then, of course, at the end of the day, it's all about the customer. So customers are seeking for people to build these automations for them because they know what they want, they don't necessarily know how to do it themselves, and they need these innovative new solutions because a lot of times Cisco is a big company. We can't keep up with the demand for different solutions that people need. So instead, we make it so that you can build your own unique value add within our solution. And then what we have is this tool called Devnet, which is our single source of truth for programmability and DevOps within Cisco. So developer.cisco.com is our Cisco Devnet landing site. We'll do a little tour through here as well as we get through the presentation. But the mantra of Devnet is see it, learn it, code it. And Devnet is a website that's open to everyone, whether you're a Cisco employee, Cisco partner, or even just someone that's never worked with Cisco but interested, completely free to sign up, a ton of resources available to learn and build your skills on. So Devnet's mission is to help employees, customers, and partners grow in the modern economy and API economy, make innovation easy, and make developers successful. And then to give you an idea of how we view Devnet internally, we've actually combined Devnet within our customer experience organization. So we see these programmability and DevOps capabilities as something so critical to our customer success that we've actually integrated it into our customer experience organization and team. Overview of Devnet and what we have to offer here. So we have a Devnet community. You can chat with like-minded individuals. We have a code exchange where you can go and see code samples and submit your own third-party use cases for using different Cisco technologies. Automation exchange is sharing automated code. Ecosystem exchange is third-party code solution. And then Solutions Plus is people can actually create solutions that use Cisco with different technologies and monetize that within our global price list. Now, with our partner side, we have a specialization. We're not going to get into the weeds of that today. And then on the learning side, we host different Devnet Express workshops around the world. These are 2-day events where you go in, you learn the basics of coding for different architectures. We have self-paced learning labs available on the site. We have sandbox environments where you can go ahead and actually play with live Cisco equipment. Then we also have new certifications that I'll touch just lightly on, and our dev centers where you can go in and get the latest API, documentation, sample code, etc. So I'm going to skip, instead of actually going through it in the slides, I'm going to go ahead and just pull up the live website here and give you a quick peek of what this will look like. So you can sign up for free, or in my case, I've been logged in for a while. If you have a GitHub, Google, really anything, you can log in pretty easily here. I'm going to log in with my Cisco ID. my little YubiKey here. Okay, so just a quick overview. You know, there's a Start Now, which is developer.cisco.com/startnow, if you just want to kind of get an overview. But we can see on our land page here, we have resources for app developers, resources for infrastructure developers, list of all the events, blogs, tweets. But what I like to start off showing people is really our technology page. So, whether you're interested in IoT, Internet of Things, or if you're looking more around collaboration with some of the tools that we've been using today, this is a quick way to dive in and not just see what we have to offer, but really understand what's possible. So for example, we're using WebEx Teams today. I can click right into the WebEx Teams. I can see, oh, what can we do? Well, we can create conversational bots, similar to the bot that we've been using today. Oh, we can also embed video calls and use widgets to do that, and we can start team spaces instantly. So just a cool way to kind of learn how to use some cool tools quickly. Then you can also see what others are creating. So whether it's a room finder, an email to teams, or using events, you can see a lot of different inspirational things that people have created. Now in the Discover tab here, this is more based around learning. So you can see the different learning paths. You can click in here and it will show you a suggested learning path for different things, whether you're getting started in coding and APIs, networking 101, WebEx, data center compute, or you can go in and actually go through our certifications, see some sample code, etc. So I encourage you guys, if you have some time, go through, play around. There's a lot of cool stuff that can be dug up there. And I'm going to hop back into our presentation here and do a quick talk on certifications. So Cisco Certifications, you guys have probably heard of these in the past. We've had the CCNA through the CCIE. Shout out to Niket, who is our resident CCIE on the call here. But now we've introduced these complementary software tracks. So these are kind of where we're moving towards, where we're still looking at some of those classical skills of engineering, but the focus is more on the software development. So while these on top would be 90% networking engineering and 10% software programmability, these are 90% software programmability and more 10% of classical network engineering. Now, of course, you're going to be getting more combined, but we'll take a look here as to what this looks like. So we have our associate level. So this is our introductory. It's one exam going over the basics of using programmability across different architectures, as well as some basic product knowledge of what's a router, what's a switch, things that you should expect to know if you're getting into network programmability. On the specialist side, we've broken it into all these exams that you see here. So if there's a certain technology group you want to focus on, and then for the professional level, there's a core exam, which goes over general programmability, and then you would additionally need to take one of these specialty exams to get to the professional level, and the expert level exam is something that will be coming out in the future. Additionally, we have fundamentals training through the Devnet site and study groups that you're welcome to join if you're interested in pursuing one of the exams. And we have over 61 Cisco training courses that are supporting the new certifications. So one thing that I just wanted to cover real quickly as a top of mind is some of the top of mind use cases that we've been seeing as we've been experiencing, the global pandemic, and how we've been using programmability to actually, make this easier for people to work. So one of the things with collaboration is embedded and remote video. So how do we have that face-to-face experience with, customers or clients when we're stuck at home on our computers? Well, we've created this way that you can very easily embed video into web pages, etc., so that you can go in and have more of that personal touch. Now with security, we have a lot more people working from home and leveraging VPNs than we ever have in the past. So we have a solution that uses, VPN capacity surging, leveraging AWS to create virtual security appliances to help you scale that VPN capacity. On the enterprise networking side, we have a way for you to automate your DNA center. So that's one of our big enterprise tools with Cisco PCert APIs. So that without having to go in and actually manually, go into each piece of customer equipment, we can set up alerts so that if there is a security alert or a software alert that has been released, we can automatically get that information sent to us and get that patched immediately. And then on the data center side, virtual desktops and virtual learning environments has been crucial in being able to deliver that at scale. So we have solutions for automating this using Ansible, which is a common orchestration tool, and then automating some more of our data center technologies with Ansible to make sure that we have that bandwidth, especially while we don't have as many people actually able to go in and physically manage our data centers. We have to do that in a more automated fashion. So one thing that is really cool, we usually have an annual conference in San Jose where people come in from around the world to talk about not just Cisco programmability, but really network programmability across the industry. This is usually an event, it's about $600 in person, 2 days, but similar to what we're doing this weekend, we're actually offering this event for free for virtual attendance on October 13th. So you can go in, get an idea of what people are doing. It's a really collaborative conference where people share the different things that they've created. And you can see I've put up a few of the top topics that we have this year in the slide here. So whether it's automation, DevOps, enterprise, or if you're really just interested more in how do we craft a more unique user experience and what design can we use to do that, we have a lot of different tracks available for you to go in. You can register for free. It's developer.cisco.com/devnetcreate. I'll post the link in the chat. And then a few of our featured speakers, we'll have our CEO there, Susie Lee, who leads the Devnet organization, and then Mandy Whaley, who leads certifications and a lot of the ecosystem success as well. So before I go a bit deeper into the Devnet site and show you guys a few things that we can play around with, I just wanted to pause and see if there are any questions. All right, awesome. So I'm actually I see a few people that have played around with this. So, Thomas, I wanted to ask you, what tools did you use to kind of learn how to program within the team's environment? What did you find helpful?
I found actually mostly the API docs themselves with like the inbuilt tester interactor thing was really helpful. And outside of that, I found a library that someone had already made to wrap around the API to work in Golang. So I could like look up the verbs and the nouns that I was looking for in the API docs themselves, and then find it in the library and interact with it that way. But like the documentation itself is really good. Like I knew exactly what to expect and where to expect it and in what form. So that's pretty much the biggest thing that helped me as far as learning the API and getting into it real quick.
Yeah, and one of the things that I find really unique is that you can actually do some of the coding from the documentation. So I'm going to show this really quick.
Yeah, I love that live interactor, like right in the page.
So that's what I find really helpful, especially for people that are, getting started in learning, is you can go into the documentation and then, let's say for API reference, I want to talk about, messages or something. So not only do I have, the different REST API methodologies here, I can click on it and actually see it live within my account, set the parameters, and run the code. So something that I've found to be really helpful, especially while getting started, just something a little unique. Now, I just have a couple more minutes here, but I just wanted to show what I think is a couple great ways to get started. So first of all, if you are already an experienced coder, you have some API knowledge under your belt, I think that the best way to learn is just to jump in and see what people have already created. So Code Exchange, you can go in and see Python is really the language of choice for programming on Cisco, but you can go in and explore different repositories. You can look it up by different technologies as well, by different business solutions. So there's a lot of different ways to see what people have already created. And especially in ecosystem exchange here, something that I find really useful because I work in automation a lot, is I can go in and I can go actually across the technologies and say like, okay, let me look at Cisco Data Center and see different listings for third-party integrations here. If I'm looking to do something with Splunk or I want to do a ServiceNow integration, really easy to just go in and see what's been created. And then what I think the best place to start for people that are looking to get into programmability is to go into our learning tracks here. And you heard me mention before, we have the Devnet Express, which is an event we run, but you can also go in and just get all of the content from the Devnet Express events for free through the Devnet site. So a great place to start is going to be our Devnet Express for Cisco DNA. I think this is just the most robust session, but it's going to tell you it's about 2 days of labs, 16 hours, and it will start with getting your workstation set up and your environment set up. How do you download, Python onto your system? Python fundamentals, talking you through introduction to GitHub, introduction to coding in Python and JSON, REST fundamentals, and then it's stacking labs. So as you go through, it will build on the previous topics that you've learned and show you how to start integrating with some of the different Cisco technologies. And then as you go through the Devnet Express tracks, all of the content on day one is more or less the same, talking about the basics of Python and REST, and then you can just skip into those day two conversations to start learning about how to program in the various architectures and technologies. So I hope that this was helpful. If you're looking to get started at Cisco, feel free to reach out to myself or to Nicole or Niket. They're great resources as well. We're happy to have any conversations. And these are the type of skills that we're seeing everyone moving towards, not just within Cisco, but really industry-wide. So there's a lot of cool stuff that's just waiting to be done out there. And if you guys create something cool like what you've done at Barcamp here today, please involve us. We'd love to see it. We'd love to evangelize it, and we'd love to support you in any way we can. So thank you for the time.